since I watched the show, I forgot some stuff that I wanted to talk about. But it's okay. I mean, I also feel like it's too late for me to be making this video now because pretty much the craziness kind of died down. Like everybody who wanted to watch it watched it already at some point. But even my mom the other day was just like, "Oh, this is like show that is huge. Like, have you heard about Squid Game?" And I was just like, "Yes, I've heard about it." So the show obviously got super big, and yeah, I mean, it's probably too late, but it's okay. I wanted to talk about certain stuff anyway. Also, let me start off with this. Basically, I saw this funny TikTok. It was just on Instagram, I think, and this song that goes like pee poo pee poo pee poo pee poo. You know what the song I mean? And I was just like, oh, the workers, whenever the song playing, and they were just like doing stuff, and all of a sudden they just were marching like this, and I think the caption said the red soldiers, and everybody was just like, no, there are hot pink. And I was like, what? Because I know that the song is called Pink Soldiers, but I just didn't understand why, because my whole time I thought that there are red, just simple red. So I looked at like different pictures in different lighting, and to me they just look red. Like, I'm sorry, like I don't see any hot pink, but I might be wrong, obviously. I think the intention was that maybe like pink is such like happy, vibrant color that it would be like, in a way, cruel joke, you know, because their job was to kill. But I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. So let me know down in the comments, like, do you think that the soldiers are like pink or red? I still saw them as pink. Sorry, I still saw them as red. I know that they're supposed to be pink. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Anyways, obviously in this video there will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the show, please just click away. There are tons of other videos by other lovely ASMR artists, so please watch those. Okay, so I do have my little notebook right here. I don't know where I'll start. I think I'll just start with the main character. The name was Gion, right? Like I said, like some of these facts will be a bit foggy, but so the main character Gion, I have heard or seen discussions that everybody thought that he was a boring character, and I don't agree with that. To be fair, I was hoping that this character would spark the discussion that I kind of assume is going to happen, but maybe I just expected too much from people. But anyways, the reason why I wanted to talk about him is that like, first of all, some people tried to make him to be a good person. He was just like, oh, like he saved everybody, he cared about, you know, the elderly and, you know, young women and all that, and I think that's honorable. But also people forgot that, you know, in the beginning, like, he stole his sick mother's money. Frankly, he didn't know she was sick, but that doesn't matter. Like, you don't steal your parents' money like that, you know, just, you don't, especially when they lived on the, you know, verge of poverty, and he did it to Campbell. So, but that's not what I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about what he did with the money, the prize money, because he was like, he just refused to use the money, and he thought that he's doing the right thing. And the reason why I wanted people to talk about is that more so, like, especially lately, I've seen people who have like certain set of values, and they have these values to basically like kind of feel good about themselves in a way. And I don't think I'm explaining person, what the actual good person would do is just get off their high horse and literally just suck it up and take care of the people he was supposed to, like the kid, the brother of, I forgot her name, Setbyok, or the mom of Sangu, and probably other people. Like, not using the money is just, like, what he could do is at least donate the money. He could have donated the money to a charity that, you know, you gotta be careful with charities too from time to time, but, you know, to like a good charity, or I don't know, feed the poor, or you know what I mean, like because of his, like, in a way, because he was so self-centered, and he only cared about how he is feeling and how the money affects himself and not others. And basically this is what I wanted people to talk about more. Like, if you have certain values and you think they're good, are they actually good if it directly harms the other people? Because I've seen this, like, recently, you know, especially if people like this, like, start doing politics, and, you know, they have, like, values, and they think they're good, and they're like, oh, but this is, like, how it's supposed to be, like, things, because of my values, because of my religion, whatever, and their decision directly harms other people. Then what? Like, are you actually a good person? I don't think so. Like, because I've seen this, especially recently with different politicians, and they have, like, they're like, oh, but I have these traditional values, or like, this is because of my religion, and they're like, oh, but this is, like, the right thing, but then their decision directly harms thousands, not even millions of people. Like, is that actually the right decision? And I know that some people don't like to hear this, and they just think that they're such a great person, but in reality they are not. The same way Gi-hun was just not a good person. Like, end of story. Because, you know, I've seen people just talk about, like, oh yeah, like, he was so boring, like, no, I think his character, I don't know if it was the intention of the directors, but I think his character could have sparked a good discussion, but it didn't. It didn't. Like, the only time I actually have seen, like, a few comments like that was in Czech discussions, but not in English ones. Everybody was just like, oh, he was so good, like, he was so boring. Like, I don't know, maybe I was just reading, like, the wrong discussions. But yeah, I don't think that he was a good person in the end. And like I said, there are a million other ways he could do with that money, but he didn't. He just decided not to, until he met the old boss and he realized, oh, like, I've been played, you know. That's when he finally had this, like, epiphany of just, like, doing the right thing. I don't know. Anyways, I guess that kind of redeemed him in the end a little bit. I don't want to be too harsh on the character. I was just like, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this in our society, especially if there are laws passed as something that directly harms millions of people. Like, we need to talk about this, and we cannot let people like this in power. End of story. Okay, I got heated there, but let's move on. One thing that was like a slight disappointment to me was that I literally guessed all the plot twist before they even happened. And like, unfortunately, I guessed that the front man was the policeman brother, like, very, very early on, because just it made sense. Like, you know, his brother clearly wasn't into contestants, probably wasn't a worker either. Like, who else would it be? So that was a disappointing. And then same with the old man. Like, I remember just thinking in the shower for like a few days, because I didn't watch it at once. Just, I thought, like, why would they recruit a man that old to be the first player in the game? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. just got that he was not like VIP, he was the actual boss, like the actual creator of the game. I think it was clear. And yeah, I felt disappointed, but I know it's not the show's fault. Like, that's just my subjective opinion, but yeah, I guessed it very early on, unfortunately. Also, today when I'm filming, it's really windy outside, and so the rooftop is making like these weird just noises. It happens. It just happens. Okay, then I wanted to talk about, like before I move on, the soundtrack of the show was absolutely phenomenal. It was one of the best soundtrack I've heard. It was so eerie, and just the way the music just made the scene so perfectly. It was extraordinary. So just A+ for the soundtrack, also A+ for the costumes. I think that's also what made the show really good. The costumes with the different the circle, the different shapes, the circle, the triangle, and the square. I think that's what really made the show super interesting, because I remember I watched like a clip on Instagram or something, and I was just like, oh, like this looks super cool, like what is this? Okay, I wanted to talk about Sangwoo for a bit, but I don't think I want to. Like, I think he was a good character. Again, like, he played a good game. Like, I think in real life, let's be honest, I think he would win. As in, if this show was real and at the end, like, it came down to, him and Ki-hoon, I literally was expecting him to kill Ki-hoon with, like, the knife or whatever he had. Because that would make sense. That would make the most sense. Like, in real life, sometimes not the, I don't want to say good values, but sometimes morality just doesn't win. And I think in past games, people like him won the games because it just makes sense. Like, in the end, you literally have to kill other people for the money. So yeah, I think he was a good character. Obviously not good mannered, but you know what I mean. I think it was interesting to watch. Yeah. Also, I gotta mention my boy Ali. He was one of the greatest characters. Like, yes, he was naive. I've seen also people talk about how naive he was, but I don't know. I'd have mixed feelings about it, because on one hand we need good people like him, but unfortunately that means that at some point he will be exploited by others, just like in real life. So I liked his character, and I liked his acting too. And I also wanted, can you hear the rooftop? I also wanted to talk about Ji-young for a bit. She was the girl that had to kill her own father, the priest. She was one of the best side characters, I think. She was my favorite character of the entire show. I cried like a baby when she was killed. Literally, just that was also like a heartbreaking death. Okay, Sebyok, again, very good character. I was hoping that she would win, but she did not. Because of Sangwoo again. But again, like, it makes sense. Like, you will be exploited by people like Sangwoo in real life, so, and you will be literally backstabbed too. So it kind of makes sense that they added that into the show, because it resembled real life too. Okay. Let's talk about the VIPs for a second. I'm sorry, but I physically cringed at every scene with the VIPs. It was so bad. It was so bad. God. So, I mean, at first I thought that it was just the script, because yes, the script looked like somebody just, like translated directly Korean from English, which, please, like, if you are a language learner, please don't do that. Always try to think in that language. And also, I think they could have hired somebody who was at least fluent in English. You don't need a native speaker. I'm not a native speaker either. I can speak good English. I know what were bad, but the delivery of the lines just made it absolutely horrendous, I think. And yeah, just didn't like those scenes. To be fair, I don't think they even added that much value to the show. Also, it didn't really make sense for them to arrive like mid games. Like, I would expect them to be there since day one, because in a way, in twisted way, the first games were the most fun, but I don't know, that didn't really make sense to me. I think they literally could have just cut out the scenes and just have like maybe the old man just tell you like this whole time you were filmed and you were broadcasted to like reach people, and that would be it. I think that would be, in a way, I think that would make it even more eerie, because then there wouldn't be a face behind it and you wouldn't even know how many people were actually watching. I also assume that there would be more VIPs like interested in these games. Like, did you seriously just have to murder hundreds of people for what, like 5 rich people? Maybe in a way it makes sense. Maybe it's more twisted that way. I don't know. I think I would have done that differently. But anyways, also, why wasn't there a single Korean VIP? Like, what's up with that? Also, why wasn't there a single woman? Or I think there was somebody from, maybe, I don't know, I don't want to like guess, maybe from like a different Asian country, but still, I think they could have just had Korean actors there. Oh, this is what I also wanted to talk about, like the way I guess these were casted, or what I've heard in Korea when it comes to dramas. They don't really take like foreigner roles seriously, and the casting, I mean, and they don't really care about if the person can act. They just care if a person looks a certain way. I'm sorry, like the majority of the VIPs just couldn't act for life. Like they just could not. And I don't know why they casted them, but probably just because they were like the typical white old man. But they could have just casted such like diverse cast instead. Like, I would like to see a corrupted woman, like even a white woman. Heck, I would even play the role, like knowing the climate of the Korean government and all that. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know, just I just wished, like I said, that they would have more diversity in the VIPs, and it would make it so much more fun too. Come on. I would like to see maybe even like all women, just all like woman cast of twisted, vile, psychotic women. Just, yes, like it doesn't always have to be like the good old white old man, But anyways, I digress. Okay. Anyways, I kind of wonder why it got so popular. I mean, it makes sense, like the concept is cool and everything is just super, it's appealing, but also there are other shows, like there were other shows like that in the past, or movies, and they didn't get as popular as this one. So I'm really wondering, like, is it the K-wave? Is it just that people really wanted to see something so dark and twisted? Is it just this people's maybe obsession with class and critique of capitalism, and it just came in the right time? I don't know. I truly don't know. Again, like, you can leave your ideas down in the comments, but I guess sometimes it's just there's a right recipe, there's a sheer amount of luck, and that just kind of goes together and it creates a phenomenon. I'm wondering how they will do season 2, if they will do it. It will be interesting, because in a way, the way it ended was just like one person going against like people that are just crazily rich. Like, this cannot end well, in my opinion, unless you would gather like all the previous winners, but still I don't think that would be enough. And probably most of them wouldn't want to, join his cause anyway, so